Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. You are here with Generational Wealth with Mac Capital Investment Group. We have a great lineup today. Like I say, the cavalry is not coming, the creek is rose, and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. We are going to talk about a major issue that goes on in our community. When we're talking about investing into us, we talk about how we can invest in us. We talk about all the problems that we might have in our community. But today we're going to bring a man in that's going to talk about doubt. You know, some of the times we pay attention to what other people say, and it really kills our dreams before we even get started. You know, how many times have you heard, you can't do this? Or, you know what, that's a great idea, but right now might not be the time. But today we're going to talk about how do you overcome those fears to invest into yourself. And so I often say the cavalry's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek and rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. We have to bet on ourselves and bet on each other. So as we begin to go into this new year, we want to take out some time to bet on ourselves, bet into the people that surround you. And you know what? Let's overcome that fear of self doubt. And you know what? So many times we got the deck stacked against us. But today we're going to talk about how can you personally bet on yourself, get that deck going in your favor, and use some role models and some examples of how we actually did it. This young man today, I met him a long time ago, and I met him when he was in the streets. And if he allowed me to say, you know, he has completely transformed his life, got on the right path. He ministers, he talks to kids, he bet on himself. And you know, a lot of times when we bet on ourselves, we are our greatest enemy. You know, we listen to what other people say, but this man has come in to be a powerful impact in his community and in our community. And if we can save one person, just one, each one save one, we can be a better village. There's an old proverb that an African guy once told me, and he was on our show, and he said this, and it kind of stuck with me. And he said this. He said, when we go and greet one another, we often say, hey, how's the families doing? But really, we should say, how's our children doing? And it kind of thought about that because our children is the pulse of the family. And this young man has a great outreach ministry for kids. If you have your son, a daughter, or whatever, he's going to talk about that. But this man is an author, he's a motivational speaker, and he encourages us to bet on ourselves and learn how we can overcome self-doubt. So without any further ado, hey Ken, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, bro?
All righty, all right. So Ken, tell me this. You know, we're starting to get some calls already in. And once again, I thank you for coming on to the show. You have been an inspiration not only to me, but I'm sure a lot of people around you. And you came out with this book that got the whole city on buzz, I hear. Got the whole city on buzz. So
I
that's
know.
congratulations, congratulations.
Right on.
So
Thank you.
it's a short read. We're going to put the information up about the book on how you can get it for our readers. You know, we have people that's calling in and starting to tap into us already. You know what? I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you're going to be talking to us about betting on ourselves and overcoming doubt. Ken, kind of let me know, let my audience know a little bit about you. And like I said, I got some questions already. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, where you start at, man? Where you start at, man? You know what I'm saying? I kind of like what you said earlier, man. You know what I mean? I was on my, I might have been on my way to prison, man, and living in hell, man. And you know, through the grace of God, man, I was able to overcome that. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
I come from a two-parent home. I had my mama and my daddy. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, I like to make sure people know, man, just because you got that kind of household don't mean your kid won't go the other way. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So a lot of times we'll think, man, okay, we giving them this and we giving them that, man. They don't have a reason to go another way. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was my emotions, man. It was my jealousy and my envy, man, that I had for other people, man, that kind of made me go that way. So I guess I'm just a man. I call myself like a prodigal son, man. I went out there, man. I played in them streets, man, and thank God, man, he let me come home, man, and maybe save a kid or two, you know.
All right.
talk to them from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you don't know how to talk to your kids about, being in the streets. So I say, man, my thing was selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times if you ain't never sold drugs, man, you don't know how to come at your kids about that besides telling them don't do it. And it's going to take more than that, man, to keep them from wanting to be in them streets. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like right now, everybody kind of fantasize about them. And you can see that through the TV shows that everybody love to watch.
Okay. So, so let me ask some quick questions. Ken, how did you start to come out of your self-doubt? How did you come out of your self-doubt? What happened?
How did I come out of it? It was a long process, man. Because even when I left the streets, I still doubted myself. I left the streets, man, and so I cut out one night. You know what I'm saying? The book could tell why. So I started going. The first big project I had was, man, I said I'm gonna go to Ivy Tech. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get me a degree. Man, when I walked in that school, Cepeda, listen to me, man. I felt like the dumbest dude in there. You understand what I'm saying? I felt like walking through that highway, man, everybody knew more than me. I didn't even want to open my mouth up because I didn't want people to know or think that I was dumb. So that kept me from reaching out for different help that I needed, So I guess how I started overcoming my self-doubt was by serving other people, because that didn't really take an education to do.
Wow. So what made you decide, because you're kind of framing this, what made you decide to go to the college? What made you decide to go there? What gave you the mind from the street guy to go to college? Hey, I'm selling drugs, but how do I go from that to, because we talk about it all the time, but what made you change your mind?
To go to college or to get out of there?
To go to college.
You want to know the real answer, the truth?
The truth.
Man, the truth is I was broke, man. And somebody told me I could get a Pell Grant if I went to sign up for school. That's what made me go for the first time, because I ain't had nothing, man. You know what I mean? I'm living in my dude condo. That's my guy, too. But I'm living like that, man. I ain't going to hustle no more, and I don't know what else to do, So another buddy I knew that quit hustling, man, said he went to Ivy Tech, man. He said, if you go to Ivy Tech, man, you can get that Pell Grant. You can get financial aid. So that was a way, man, I could put a quick, $3,500, $5,000 in my pocket. And I said, I'm going to go to school too. But that's what made me decide to go.
Okay. So opportunity presented itself and you had a conscience because you wanted to get out of that lifestyle, right?
Yeah, like how you saying that.
Yeah, the opportunity presented itself, and so you wanted to get out of that lifestyle, and so you had a desire to want to get out, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what made you have that desire? What sparked that? That's because we got to get to the bottom, because the reason why I'm asking these questions and I'm framing it this way is because a lot of us, when we go into business, right, and when we start trying to change, we come up with all these, like you said, the demons that was within you. And we're talking about how do you make that transition? What made that change? And so you're trying to you gave us a practical example of what changed you. It might not work for everybody, but it changed you. But one thing is guaranteed, the opportunity presented itself, right?
Right.
And you grabbed a hold of it. Now, you said you went in there and you was like, hey, I'm the worst thing here. And that's that self-doubt that you're talking about.
Yeah, man. I felt like, man, because I wasn't never a good student in school.
So that's another self-doubt. That's another pitfall. Because like I said, before I started doing this, man, you wouldn't believe on how many people said that this wouldn't work. Us networking and talking about people, and I come from the finance background, and it was so many people that wasn't on board with this. And so as I started to progress, I had more naysayers and people telling me how not to do it than it was people just saying, hey, just try. Yeah. So, you're talking about, you're battling yourself. Hey, man, I'm out here selling drugs. Now I'm not. I don't want to no more. Now I'm in school. Now I go to school and I feel like I'm a pink elephant. Okay.
Man, bro, I felt so out of place when I walked in there, man. I'm walking around with a book bag, man, trying to look the part. But I'm gonna tell you, I ain't feel the part on the inside. I looked the part though. I knew how to look the part. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't feel the part.
Wow, wow, wow. So you're going to school, you made the transition, okay? Did you have any doubts as you started to go to classes and say, hey, I really can't be here. I really can't, this ain't for me.
Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. I had that the whole first semester, man. I doubted myself. You know what I mean? Because I had to take an algebra class, man, and I couldn't pass that in high school. So I had to take that. So the whole time I was in school, man, I thought it wasn't for me. I couldn't do it. And I did quit, but I quit to go do something else, my dude. That was more my speed. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I quit to go serve people because now we ain't talking about everybody to quit. I don't want nobody to quit. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But I was taking a business class, man, and this is after I started. This is where I kind of start thinking that I could make it in business on this side as well as that side. So as I'm taking this business class, it was a marketing class, and it was a marketing class, and it was another class that I was taking, but they were all geared toward business. And as we sitting there talking in this marketing class, and they start talking about logistics and product placement and market development, I started seeing that I'm already knowing how to do this. Like I just didn't know the legitimate term for it. Like I didn't know the book term for it, but I knew about logistics because I had to get this from here to there.
Okay.
I knew about product placement because that's just where I plan on. You see what I'm saying? I knew how to analyze the market. I knew how to call people and see what they got and go look at their
So
product.
hold up.
Search my
So what
product.
you're saying is, so correct me if I'm wrong, Ken, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. Because a lot of times we think that we got to get something else in order to be successful for where we're trying to go. So you're telling me you already had the tools?
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
already had the tool. See, that's why I'm so glad that you brought that out, because a lot of times what I hear when I'm coaching people or I'm coaching a person that's starting a business, we think that we got to have so many more things. But really what we got is right there before us, right? And the
Right,
only
right.
thing we got to do is use what we got.
Yeah,
I remember my mentor, he said Cepeda, and I was making all type of excuses, and I was trying to get the approval of others. Ken, when I first, you remember when I used to drive the old the green
yeah,
truck on
yeah,
it.
yeah,
So and he would always tell me, Cepeda, just start where you're at, put one foot in front of the other, and just start. Because if you fall, so what? It's a learning experience. But if you don't start, you'll never learn.
yeah,
So that's what I'm hearing you say, is that you just started where you was at, but once you got in there, you started to bet on yourself and you started to get that confidence because you're in a different environment. I went through the exact same thing when I went to Indiana State, and I'll talk about it. And I a whole nother podcast. But when I went to Indiana State, I was illiterate. I
right.
could bear. I was almost like I was real cool because I didn't want to talk to nobody because I didn't want nobody to know I was illiterate.
Yeah, so
But
you felt me when I said that then.
yeah, so I understand that. So a lot of times when we start a business, we don't know. We don't have that network in the black community. We don't have that CEO or that mother or that father that then passed that business down to that kid, and now you got a whole platform and you got a head start. We got to start from the ground up.
Yeah,
From the bottom.
yeah,
I listened to one young lady. She was saying, I got to get my business out of the mud. I didn't know what that meant. So I said, what does that mean? She said, I just got to start from the bottom.
yeah, yeah,
So a lot of times when we're starting our businesses or we're starting to develop ourselves, we begin to understand that we just got to start. And we got all the tools right there within us. And the only thing we got to do is unlock that courage to stand out. What gave you that courage to stand out? To kind of talk to me about that. What gave you that courage?
once, because I would always compare, man. What I would say was, man, look here, man. Over here, somebody get mad at me, the most they can do is send me a mad email. You know what I'm saying? Like I've already done it when I was putting my life on the line for it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, you
You
putting your
put
life on the line.
Yeah, so if I got enough, and that's what I would tell myself, because when I first started with that, I ain't know what to do neither. You see what I'm saying? I ain't had no idea what to do. I moved back from Texas. One of my dudes, I told him, man, I gotta get my family up here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had number $50.
Wow.
So he said, hey, $50 double up. That's at the bottom. So I took that, doubled it up, got 100, took that back to the shop. You know what I'm saying? Got a ball, got the ball, took that, flipped it, 350. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same concept. Start with whatever you got. I couldn't wait for nobody to throw me an ounce. I'd have been waiting forever. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't even learn the game the way I learned it, learning it from the bottom. So what give me the courage is I would think about when I'm driving or going from here to Louisville or whatever I'm doing, man, I be scared every time. Every time I got on a plane, I was scared. Everything that I ever had to do in my life, man, it involved fear. You see what I'm saying? So to get over here and jap out, man, I wasn't gonna do it.
Wow. So because you had come from the bottom and because you had to get it the hard way, right?
Yeah, I knew how to do it twice.
Yeah. So you made the connection that if I can do it over here and put my life on the line, right?
Yeah.
I can take that same concept and learn over here in the business aspect, and I can do the exact same thing and transform my life, right?
Same thing.
So that's where I think people get disconnected, Ken, is because a lot of times when we are making that transition, we think that we glorify the Jay-Z's and the 50 Cents that was out here selling drugs, and we almost glorify, but they don't give us a blueprint on how we can transition. And you giving us a blueprint, Ken. You're saying that one, you took advantage of an opportunity. You didn't go there and say, hey, I want to go there and be a student. You said I went there in survival mode, right?
Yeah.
Just to get food on the table.
Yeah.
And then once you got into that survival mode, you begin to understand that, hey, I can compete. Okay. Yeah. In the classroom, because you took what you had, you took your networking skills that you had, and then you begin to get confident. And doubt started to go away. What was the first success that you had once you started to believe in yourself, Ken? What was the first success?
It was really a failure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hold up.
I done failed, man. I bet, man, it's kind of like when I was hustling, right? Man, I ain't start off up here. You know what I'm saying? I start up here, I go back down here, I go up here, I go back down here.
So you said your first success, and I want my audience to understand what he's saying. He's keeping it 100%. He said his first success was his failure. What was that failure? What was that failure, Ken?
It was
sharing.
I took that money. I took that money that I got from the school, right? And I was already fooling with the trucks a little bit. So I took it, man, and I said, man, you know what? I wonder if I can rent a truck, man, and get my DOT numbers and my motor carrier numbers and push freight without having a truck. Just rent one and see it. So I got my DOT numbers. I spent this money getting my DOT numbers. I spent some of that money getting my MC numbers. And then I found out how much it was gonna be to rent this truck from Penske. I rented that. I got on the load board and I found some loads. Now, I had enough money from those loads to pay for everything that I needed. But since I was a new company, I would have to take like 30-day pays and 45-day pays. Well, my money wasn't long enough to keep the truck rolling. You see what I'm saying? Until I got that money. So I jumped in too fast. But I was still happy though, because I knew the concept worked. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that I could come up with a concept like that, man, when people was telling me that I couldn't get my DOT numbers and I couldn't get my motor carrier numbers without a truck, I ain't listened to them. I went and found a way to do that. So
hold up, because I want our audience to catch this. This guy went to school, he got $3,500 because he was at zero. He took that money and had enough sense to bet on himself. Once again, he was doubting himself in school. He was doubting himself, can he do this? But he had enough courage to bet on himself. And you notice he didn't go back out there in the street. You know, you kind of stayed to the game. You kind of stayed true to what you said. And now he's betting on himself. Now once again, he's starting a business. Now he has a trucking company, right?
Yeah.
That he's learning. Not only is he in school learning, but he's in the real life learning. So I want to stop right here, Ken, because sometimes when we're betting on ourselves and we starting to get excited about what we're doing, Ken, we think that everything is going to be good, right?
Oh no. That's when you start losing.
That's when you lost. So
Yeah.
so keep on going with your story, Ken, because we getting a lot of questions. So I want our listeners to give you, to ask some of the questions, because you're teaching us how we can start our own companies and our own communities by betting on ourselves. And you're giving a classic example because you didn't have everything given to you. You were giving us examples of exactly what it takes for us to have businesses that are thriving in our own community, right?
Yeah.
So kind of tell me how the trucking business ended up for you.
Yeah, it didn't end up good, man. Because I ran out of money to run the truck. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But I still got some out of that, man. It was forward movement for me. You
Okay.
understand what I'm saying? So when I got so I had to wait, man, and I didn't put no more money back into it, just for the simple fact I realized that I didn't have enough money to sustain it. So as them other checks start coming, so I didn't lose money. You understand what I'm saying? But my thing is, man, I felt good, man, because somebody told me I couldn't do it.
Well, so
I
you
did
said
it.
was
I did it.
that the motivation for you? Because
What's
people
that?
had told you that you couldn't do it. You said, "Hey, I'm going to do this because people told me I couldn't do it."
Nope, because I ain't never gonna be motivated by negative.
Wow.
I'm just gonna keep going. Like, I don't care if you say I can. I don't care if you say I can't. Don't none of that matter to me. If I accept the good, I gotta accept the bad. So all I know is I can do it.
Wow.
You
That's
understand
it.
what I'm saying? If I see one truck out there, that means I can get one truck out there. If I see 10, I can have 10. Don't nobody got nothing on this planet that I can't have if I'm willing to work for it and I ain't scared of it.
Wow. So you get two things. You got to be willing to work for it, right? To
Yeah, and
overcome something
sacrifice.
and sacrifice, and you can't be scared, right?
Yeah, well, you can be scared, but that scared shit will motivate you. Like, I
Wow.
know that fear ain't real, bruh. A
Wow.
brick wall is real. Fear ain't.
What you say now?
A brick wall is real. Fear is not real. Ain't nothing you ever been scared of that you walked through that you was still scared of it afterwards. So it can't be real.
Well, it can't be real. It's just an illusion.
It's just an illusion, man. And ain't no illusion gonna stop me.
Wow. So when I'm trying to start that business and I'm trying to run Mad Capital, and then I feel like I don't see no more of my people around me, and I begin to doubt myself. You say, and I begin to fear that, am I going to be able to get this done? You saying that ain't real. You said
Nothing.
you
It
said
ain't.
no.
It's
And you
not
said it
real.
ain't real. So how do you address that? How do you address that when that spirit come on you, or that voice within you saying, "Hey, Ken, you really shouldn't be here." How do you overcome that?
I tell them I know.
What? So you
Yeah,
agree with it? You
I know I
agree with
shouldn't
it?
be here,
You
but
know,
I am.
but you are.
Now what?
Wow, wow. So you take all the negative and turn it to a positive.
Yeah, I feel you. Maybe I shouldn't be here, but I'm still here though.
Wow,
How many cats you hear say, man, that dude shouldn't be in the league, but do we still get a check?
wow,
You
wow.
understand?
Yes, yes. So
Oh, why would I listen to fear? Fear ain't real.
So okay, I got you. I feel you. Because so now you done decided to go to school. You done started this one business. It was a failure, right? And you, it was a failure. And now okay. Were you still in school, or did you, or
I went back and forth for about a year and a half. You know what I'm
so once
saying?
again, it didn't happen overnight, right?
Nah, man, I've been grinding to get this, man, since 2013, bro. And I done been homeless. I done had to move out of state because I ain't had nowhere to stay here, and I ain't want people to see me homeless again. Because the first time I hid it, you see what I'm saying? I
Shame.
want to be able to have it again.
Well,
You
okay.
feel me? I
Uh-huh.
went through, man. I lost, man. I probably was 230 pounds. I probably dropped down to 189. I had to hear people saying that I'm smoking dope and everything else. But what I care for if I know I ain't?
Yeah. So you kind of blocked all of that out, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Did you lose some friends?
Anybody that I ain't got now was my friend at first.
Wow. So everybody can't go with you.
Nah, they can't stand the ride.
They can't stand the ride. So they eliminated themselves then, right?
Yeah, but I don't feel no way about them. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody do what they want to do. This is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to come this way, I ain't mad at you. We just go this way. But if I see you right here, I'll still help you. Ain't no love lost, baby.
Wow. So you stay true to what you're doing then, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You stay true to yourself. So when you start, let's talk about the book now. Let's talk about the book. What gave you the idea to think that you can write a book and people gonna buy it? What gave you that idea?
I'm gonna tell you something. Self-doubt kept me from doing it. I wrote that back in 2013. When I got into that word real heavy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about that's all I had. You know what I mean? Because that's all I could do. I said, the Lord saved my life, is yours to do with it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So what I got out of there was to serve people. You know what I'm saying? So I start realizing, man, how much God loved me, man, as I'm reading through that word, like how much he really loved me. You see what I'm saying? So as I'm reading that, man, you know, it turned me on, bro. It turned me on. And then I started seeing the word in a different way, because at first I was reading it to judge people. But then as I kept reading, I seen, man, that it's really talking to me about me. So as it started telling me about me, man, and I start realizing a lot of the places that I got to in my life was based on decisions that I was making, man, over some envious or jealousy or whatever you want to call it. It's a lot of different things. You understand what I'm saying? I started seeing, man, that I need to put this on paper because it came about so viciously, man, and I ain't had nobody to talk to. So I just started yak. You know what I'm saying? Look up a day and a half later, bro, and that's what I had. But it was for me, though. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, back through it and see. You see what I'm saying? Look at some of that, man, that I put down on there. And I started sharing it with my dudes or whatever. Like if I got a partner and we talking about something and I'm hearing him saying he in a dark place, I'll be like, hey, bro, you got an email? Because I didn't know everybody had emails. Then once I found out everybody got an email, man, I said, you got an email? I said, yeah, let me shoot this to you. You know what I'm saying? So I just shoot it to him because, like I said, I didn't really think about it or nothing. I just yak. You know what I'm saying? And it was there. So I didn't even think about selling it. You see what I'm saying? Wow. I just want to give it away to somebody, man, that is going to help. You know what I'm saying? Because it helped me to read it sometimes. And sometimes, you know, we play this role, my dude. But I done been a nigga crying in the car, excuse my language. I've been crying in the car, man, after I done something dirty, man. And I done been with dudes who cried in the car after doing something dirty. But then the next day, though, we got to put that front back on. You dig what I'm saying? So I said, okay, let me express some of these feelings to my dudes and maybe it'll help them deal with it a little better. You understand what I'm telling you? So I'm sending it out like that. Make a long story short, I put it in, his name is Derek House. He's a pastor down there in Bloomington. He a good guy. He a good guy to me. You know what I'm saying? So I put it in his hands and he read it. And when he read it, he said, man, you should turn this into a book. I said, man, that's just an email I got from my partners, man. You know what I'm saying? This for us. Like, this ain't for everybody. You see what I'm saying? I could only see that a dude like that done some things, you know what I'm saying, as far as this could benefit from it. But he wasn't one of them kind of cats. And he said he got something out of it. So I said, okay, man, you know, and I always say, man, let the Lord do it for me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit back.
So you had somebody that that God led you to, right?
Yeah.
And he taught you to bet on yourself because you was already betting on yourself. So really, again, so remember, see, and this is why, Ken, what you're talking about is so powerful, because I believe this, that the cavalry is not coming and the creek is rose and the levee is giving way. We have to bet on ourselves. But when we begin to bet on ourselves, we begin to attract people that want to invest into us. I'll say it again. When we begin to bet on ourselves, we begin to attract people that want to invest and pour into us. And that's, you just gave me the magic sauce on how I've been able to be successful, Ken. I didn't know how to put it in a verbal term, but I've always decided to bet on myself a long time ago. But the more I begin to bet on myself, the more people want to invest into me. They see that confidence that I have, that there's, like you said, God has put that confidence in you, and you just didn't know it. So it's just like me and you before we got on the show, we had to activate it. We had to get on the right page.
Yeah.
We have to activate that faith that we have, and we all have that faith. And we're talking about generational wealth, Ken, and this is what the show is all about. But I think that before we can get to the money, we have to bet on ourselves so we can get to the money, right? And we have to do some things like you said. I think that if we have more men and women that is willing to bet on themselves and fail, and you said it was almost comfortable failing compared to
you got to, baby. If you don't want to fail, stay working a job, bro. Failing is part of the process, my guy. It's to be expected.
It's to be expected. So it's not. So when I fall, right? So when I fall, I might fall into an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because that's what you did.
Fall into this, you might have to go this way because this failed, and that's where you had to be.
Wow. So
you can't be whining about what you lost, man, because you'll miss what you got coming.
Wow. So once again, Ken, and I want to be very clear, you're saying that when we begin to bet on ourselves, go back to school, whatever it is, because that's kind of the same mode that I was in when I went to Indiana State and I began to learn how to read. As you know, I had a fetish with reading. That became my number one thing was reading. And then it just, finances took over and finances started to get into my spirit. And then I just ran with it. That's all I know. People ask me all the time, Cepeda, what would you do if you wasn't doing this? I would be a fish out of water. I don't know what I would do, but I know I would survive, but I don't know what I would do. So what got you out of the survival mode? Now you got your book going, which we're going to put your information down there so that we can talk about that, so we can make sure that people can get that book, because it is a good read. I didn't read it. It only takes you about a half an hour to an hour to read it. It's Ken's testimony on how you can overcome everything that you might have struggled with. And we're talking about businesses. Ken said he started 2 businesses. He has a trucking business that failed, and now he got a book business, and that's a success because I got a couple copies that he gave to me a couple days ago, about a couple weeks ago. And so, Ken, tell me this: when you wrote the book, was it therapeutic for you?
Shoot, bro. Yes, you know what I'm saying, because I got to get out and see who I was, man, and it allowed me to stop blaming other people.
What? So you mean to tell me, Ken, after you come from the street, right? After you went to school, after you seen that you can do it, right? You still had that kind of blame other people. You wasn't completely delivered yet, right?
Nah, not yet. You know what I'm saying? That took a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wasn't mad at all them failures, man, because I didn't want to fall back into. I slowed myself down because I knew I wasn't ready. As long as I'm blaming people for what's going on in my life, I'm not ready for nothing. The way I see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ready for nothing yet because I'm still blaming other people. Any decision I make is mine. It's mine. Can't nobody do it. Can't nobody use me unless I want something from them.
Wow. So hold up. So can't nobody use you unless you want something from them, right?
Yeah.
So the excuse of saying, in the Black community, we can't start our own business, is because not that we can't start our own business, is that we want to hand out so that we can get going. But sometimes we do need help, but all the resources is still right there, correct?
Yep. All of them right there, man. It all depends on your grind, man. Like I ain't never found no plug, man. The plug always find me whenever I was hustling.
Hold on,
Plug.
what is a plug? Because for those who don't understand, who don't understand the street language, what is a plug, Ken?
That's the guy, man, that supplied me so I can supply them. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? That's the guy that got more than me. You feel me? So I go to him, man. He give it to me, and I give it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So I ain't never found the plug, and I ain't never gave nothing to nobody, man. Whoever came and begged me for it. What it work is like this, man. You see me moving a certain way. You see the hustle I got. They'll make themselves available to you. You understand what I'm telling you?
Wow.
But for just you coming up saying, bro, I can move this and bro, I can move that, man, your word ain't nothing, man. Let them see you doing.
Wow.
Let them see you doing, my guy.
Let them see you betting on yourself then.
Yeah. Then hey, bro, what's up with you? Then they'll fool with you. Why I'ma bet on you and you won't bet on you?
Wow. I often say that the cavalry ain't coming, Ken. The creek grows. See, you can say it, but I can't. So you said you can say it and I can't. So so we have to bet on ourselves. So if you're trying to go into business or you're trying to have generational wealth, invest into the stock market, try it. Just try it. Don't listen to nobody else.
Smile. You ain't gotta have $1,000, man, to do it. Do it with what you do have.
Wow. Just
you
use
what
what you got. So in other words, Ken, you saying like what my grandfather used to tell me, just start where you at. Just start right where you at and see how it go.
I'm gonna tell you what I want to be, man. I'm gonna tell you what my dad was for me, bro. And I'm gonna tell you where before the game, I'll tell you where I got this from. Can I tell you? Can I give a big up to my pops for this one?
Yeah. You can give it up.
My dad drove dump trucks, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what he did. That's what his thing was. He drove dump trucks, man. The first dump truck I ever seen him get was a raggedy dump truck. I'm talking about, man, it was raggedy. Sorry, Dad, if you listening, but the truck was raggedy.
Wow.
It was a blue and white gas station up on the corner of Lafayette Road and Kessler, bro. And back there behind that gas station, it was muddy, it was cold, it wasn't inside no garage, man, and it'd be dark. But I'm gonna tell you what he did. He first of all, he a diesel mechanic, so he drove around with a toolbox in his thing.
He was
prepared. At nighttime, when he got out, when he done worked 12, 13 hours driving that truck, you know what he doing, man? Changing the head gaskets on it. Man, he changed the head gaskets on that truck so many times, bro. I couldn't even tell you how many times. And I'd be like, man, what the? You know what I'm saying? But he had to start somewhere. Then I watched him go from that truck to a Brigadier. It was a little nicer. You know what I'm saying? But changing them big truck tires by hand, because he ain't gonna pay nobody to do what he can do. So I watched him progress. And it took him to about 2000. Once about 2000 got here, he started buying new dump trucks, man. And when the tires went bad, he traded them in. But he worked, though. And I seen him want to do that, and he never gave up. I took that and used it in the hustle. So since I know everybody don't got a dad or somebody to show them that, I want to be that for them, as many of them as I can. Wow. That's what drive me to do this. Because I had that, my dude. And here's the thing. I had it and still went that way. What about the ones who ain't got it? What do you expect for them? Especially if ain't nobody want to show them.
So you didn't have that role. So you had the role. See, a lot of times we preach and teach on, hey, what happened when you ain't got that role model? You got to get it like this. But you're saying that you had the role model. You still went that way. You just didn't have that inside ability to do it. And then when you came to the realization that you could do it, then you went through the whole transformation process like the butterfly.
Yeah, I kind of thought I could get. I thought my daddy didn't know what he was talking about. I thought I could get something without working hard for it.
So viewers, so if you got an idea, Ken is telling you, and thank God for him. He's telling you, bet on yourself. Start right where you're at. Don't try to worry about somebody else. That's the number one killer that I've come into contact. I do a lot of coaching, Ken, with businesses now, right? And the number one thing that I see is that people don't want to start right where they're at. You
Right.
know, they think that they got to have the 750 credit score, or they got to be married to the right woman, or they got to be married, they got to get the right man, or their kids have to go to the right schools, or whatever the case. They got to have the right job, or they got to have the right car, or got the right jewelry, or whatever to look the part. But
Mm-hmm.
reality is, you just start right where you're at and start building.
Yeah.
And over a period of time, you let time kick in, and opportunities will present itself to where you can keep growing.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
so that's what we need to do in our community, Ken, is, I thank you for sharing that with us, because if you're out there today and you have had a failing business, not a successful business, a failing business, and if people have told you that you couldn't make it, right? That's okay. Use that to do what you need to do and block it out. Ken gave us a different perspective. I like to use criticism as a fuel. You tell me I can't, I'm going to do it. But Ken is saying that shouldn't motivate you.
Because
Ken,
what if you can't find nobody to tell you that you can't?
yeah. So everybody telling you that you can, so that's just as bad.
Yeah.
So Ken is telling us that you have to be a self-motivator. In other words, and he's educating me, you have to bet on yourself and believe in yourself, right? And believe that there's a higher power that's greater than you. And that thing is lying within your skin. You're the only one who's with yourself 375 days a year. You with yourself. So what you tell yourself is what you're going to start to believe. And what you start to believe is only what you can achieve. Now, he said that he had a guy that was in Bloomington that bet on him. But he had to bet on himself when he went through those halls in that Ivy Tech school. And that guy from the Bloomington pastor believed on him because he could believe in himself when he went to that Ivy Tech school.
Hey, and if I wouldn't have went there, man, I would have never typed that out, because I only bought the computer, man, because I was in school.
Wow. So once again, he's using the tools that he has. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, when we want to we're talking about starting a revolution on Wall Street in our community. Well, guess what? When those businesses that are foreign come into our communities, guess what? They don't have the resources that we have. They don't have the network that we have, but we use their facilities. We use their hair products. We eat their food. How did they know? What made them think that they can come into our community and utilize us to do what they want to do, to benefit their family? Because when I go into those shops, I see them working. I don't see us. I see them. So
that's why I don't go, man. You ain't gonna catch me going to no steak and lemonade, bro.
so I didn't say no names. I didn't say no names.
I'm a fault. I'm a fault, man. But I ain't going, bro.
You ain't going.
Good, but I ain't going.
So that's where we can bet on ourselves. And when we bet on ourselves, opportunities will present itself, right? And this is what Ken is saying. We got to bet on ourselves. We have to believe in what we're doing, right? We got to quit relying on other people to define us, right? So Ken, I got a couple of more questions. People are starting to bombard me a little bit, right? How important is it for you to give back to your community? How important is it?
That's everything to me, man. It started, and how it started. Can I tell you how it started?
Yes.
Couldn't do none of the laws in the Bible at the time. You understand what I'm telling you? I couldn't do it. I might tell you about it, but give me a couple days, I guarantee I'll be doing it. You know what I'm saying? It started making me feel like a hypocrite. So as I watched, man, and I got to keep going back to the Bible because that's part of the story. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So as I watched Christ washing the disciples' feet, I said, okay, I can serve. You know what I'm saying? And so I set out to serve. So I always feel like, man, I want my serving to get me my wants. I got to be giving back, man, in order to get what I want.
Okay.
It's got to come that way. It's got to come full circle. You see what
Wow.
I'm saying? So the only way I should be able to get the things that I want is by giving back.
Okay, I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's very important, man, for you not leave your community so quick. You know what I'm saying? Because we do need role models that's in the community. That's part of giving back. Like, you don't have to actively be out here doing what I'm doing. But you giving back, man, if you keep that house over there in the neighborhood and somebody can see you going to work every day, cutting your grass, painting your house, keeping up your house. That's giving back because you didn't leave the situation.
Okay, so that's how we can create generational wealth right where we're at, right?
Yep.
Okay.
To me, anyways, you know what I'm saying? Because the money should stay. How do some people do it? Like you watch people doing it right now. They keeping the money inside their community. That's creating a generational wealth. That's how they able to help each other.
Wow.
So you see it right in your face.
You see it right there. It's right there before you.
It's right there in your face, man. You watching other cultures, man, do it.
And the only thing we got to do is just bet on ourselves.
That's it. But when them restaurants we ain't gonna mention come in and we start flowing to them, we shutting down the John's Fish Markets. We shutting down the Williamsons. We shutting down them businesses, man, who not only, man, feed us, but take care of people in the community around us. Because I used to work at John's Fish Market. And John, man, would feed people. You understand what I'm saying? That didn't have money around there. What that might do? It might keep somebody from breaking in somebody's house.
Wow.
Because they're not hungry. John will give them a broom, let them sweep out in front of the spot. Man, he paying me to do it. But he also giving them something to do where they feel like a man.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So those businesses are important to us. That's the, and we got to keep that going. And that's the way we'll keep our wealth going too. Is by not giving it to other people, man, but keeping it within ourselves. Like, I don't agree with taking money from me as a black company, man, and spending it elsewhere. You understand what I'm saying? I can't talk really for real on that one, but I'll let that go. You know what I'm saying? But like, pimping is pimping, bro.
Okay, so we getting pimped. So going back to what we're talking about, and I'm glad that you're bringing out a good point because, Ken, a lot of times we talk over people's head, right? We talk so we want to be religiously correct, and we want to be, economically correct. But at the end of the day, we got to speak a language to our people that they understand. And so I often say, when I started this show, the cavalry is not coming. Right? Ain't nobody coming to help us. The creek and roads. That means the opportunities have came and gone. They're not there no more. Ain't nobody gonna bet on you if you don't bet on yourself. Mm-hmm. And then the levy didn't give away. In other words, I didn't exhausted everything that I didn't got, and it's gone. And it's up. Then once you look at it, it's up to you to get it done. And you got to bet on yourself, and you got to start right where you're at. And so that's what this whole show is about. It's about you encouraging yourself to start exactly where you're at. And you have all the tools, ladies and gentlemen, you have all the tools to bet on yourself and to be as successful and to be as less successful as you can. We've been doing this for almost about 9 months now, Ken. And I'm just trying to get people to bet on themselves. And you're telling us, hey, you can bet on yourself. I failed, you failed, and you got back up and you started all over again, but the opportunities kept presenting themselves. Ken, tell me this. How do you deal with rejection? That's another thing that, a lot of times we think when we start our businesses and we start to bet on ourselves and we start off good, we almost is like a New Year's resolution. We started off, I'm encouraged, I'm positive, and then that brother or that sister that you grew up with come and say, man, what you trying to do, man, Ken? What you trying to do, man? What Ken, you need to get back out here and start back doing what you used to do. You're not good at selling that book. That book ain't gonna be no success. How do you deal with that type of rejection?
So that's a whole different ball game. I tell them they don't want me back out there no more, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's better for y'all that I ain't back out there, man.
Yeah, it's better for them.
Yeah. But rejection, man, is just something I can check off the list. Because I know if I done wrote down 10 things that I want, I'm really only planning on getting 1 or 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know which one it is. So I got to go through all of them. So in order to go through all of them, that means I'm going to have to get rejected. It's kind of like the principle, man, like when I was getting down. It's like I'm going to holler at 10 people a day to get 1.
Wow. So you got to be willing to go through it.
Yeah. Everybody that you ask, man, ain't going to say, yeah, they got other people that they fooling with. But if you don't ask 10, you ain't gonna get the one.
Wow.
And I always know you need 5, man. You need a starting 5, man. I don't need everybody in the beginning. I need a starting 5 of people, man, who think like I do and like what I do. Let them go out and promote my business, man.
Wow.
And
So
by the time it get to a point where people see you, they can't tear it down.
wow, they can't tear it down because you didn't went out there and done the work. You didn't done the
Yeah.
legwork. You didn't done the legwork. Wow. Wow. That's, my president, my daughter, she just said facts 100% because I wouldn't have done this Facebook Live, Ken, if it wasn't for her. Because me and her was talking and it actually came right out for devastating failure. Well, it wasn't a failure, but I lost. I was a devastating loss. I put it like that. And me and my daughter was talking, and she was like, "Hey, you should do this." And I just started right where I was at. As you know, Ken, I've been talking about this since 2008 when I met y'all. When I had the green bomber, and y'all used to laugh at me when my car used to be smoking. So.
Hey, man.
Y'all used to laugh at me when my car used to be smoking, and we was talking about generational wealth, and y'all used to almost take me out of there on top of my head. So, hey, I remember that. I remember those days, and so it's been a positive. So, Ken, tell me this. Dealing with rejection, you overcome it. You got a youth program. Tell us a little bit about your youth program.
Well, I just got the nonprofit set up, KB Mentors Inc. And I also got a mentoring program, KB Mentors LLC. They kind of separate, but they do the same thing. You know what I mean? As far as the mentoring go, I do that through KB Mentors LLC. But I got the nonprofit, man, because I want to do other things with the kids, man, that this is not going to afford me to do. Because I don't charge them enough, man, to be able to put back for trips and whatever and everything else. So I developed a nonprofit, man. So if we do want to do college tours or we want to do bike clubs and we want to do all that, we can do it through there and people can legitimately donate to it. You know what I mean? But all the money that go there, the way this is different, man, I don't want none of it. You understand what I'm saying? I get what I get from the mentoring when I go into the schools and whatnot. But that right there for that nonprofit, that's strictly for the community.
Okay, so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're teaching y'all on how to give businesses. I'm here to tell y'all when we talking about filing your taxes, and you say that you got to invest into a non-for-profit. I got his number down there at the bottom. Ken Burrell. You can contact him at that number. It's on our website. We're also on YouTube. If you can't get on, some people don't have Facebook. You have YouTube. You can pick this up at the end of the day. But if you have a business and you want to do a tax write-off, you can call Ken. Give it. It's a good cause. It's to help you out. You know that this brother, where he's coming from, he came from the streets. He came in. He bet on himself. He's betting on you. He's telling you that you can do it. Okay. He also is telling you that you don't have to be afraid. He said fear is something that is an illusion. And so once again, we can invest into ourselves. We can get our own kids off the street. If you have a kid that you're having a hard time dealing with, now is the time where you can call Ken and Ken can get him on to the right track. Me and Ken is going to do some partnering during the summer where we're going to be flipping houses and teaching our kids generational wealth. So once again, this is an opportunity. It's just an opportunity. This ain't the all-in tell-all. This is just a tool that you can use, that you can help out our community. Ken is a guy who is going into our schools. If you have a kid that's rough around the edges, I'm sure Ken can talk to him. Okay, I'm sure that he can talk to him. We glorify some of these TV shows. Some of the number one shows that's on TV right now is dealing about drug dealing, and Ken is telling us we glorify that, but we got to deal with it in our community. Right. Yeah. And so we got to learn how to make that transition. Ken said he went to school, right? He felt inferior. Your son, you telling him to pull up his pants, telling him to quit smoking. But guess what? When he does that, how does he feel? Ken said that he felt like he was a pink elephant. You
man.
know, how do you address that? How do you address that doubt when you're trying to start your own company? You got two kids, or you're a single dad, and you're trying to do the right thing, and then you have all of these extracurricular things that's going on around you. How do you really overcome that? Or just say you're trying to get back and you're trying to do right, and you're trying to date that young lady, or you're trying to date that man, and you don't have all the tools in place. How do you deal with it when they say you ain't got a good job? You know, you go to some churches, they tell you can't work, you can't eat, you can't have no wife, you ain't got no job, and I get that, but that shouldn't be the prerequisite for you, because there's something on the inside of you that's great. And so I've been there. You know, I've been there. I've done that. Of having the criticisms and all of those other things. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to bet on yourself. You got to find that courage, like Ken did, and to write that book. Now, you might not write a book, but you're writing a book of changing your life. Your life is a book. And at the end of the day, you only have a short period of time before the book is going to end. And what the question is going to be is, what did you write? What did you do to leave your mark here? And so Ken is telling us, bet on yourself, start right where you're at, just believe in yourself, and you'll see the opportunities come. Ken said that he had some opportunities, right? And he's giving some of the other kids opportunities. Hey, Ken, where are some of the schools that you're going to be at?
We trying to work it out now, man, where it's gonna be right now with the COVID going on. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get in some of them. You know what I mean? So right now, the place I'm at is a place called Transition. I'm trying to go over into Pike District right now. You know what I mean? Just I know a buddy of mine said that they having some problems with their kids over there. You know what I mean? So right now, I'm trying to get into Pike District. You know, but I also do the mentoring, man. We find places to do what we need to do.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? Because there's plenty of kids out here who need the help. So if that got to be a church office, if it's got to be outside in the park, if it's got to be anywhere, that's where we're going to find it to do it. You see
Okay.
what I'm saying? And see what it grow into. You see what I'm saying? I'm not waiting on this and that. What do we have? What can we do? I know the things that I want to do, but what can I do?
Okay. So
You understand what I'm saying?
So Ken has said, and so we got resources. We're gonna reach out. You got Ken's number. Call Ken. Say, hey, I got a place. If you have a business, network with 2 or 3 people. Y'all call Ken. Invest into what Ken is doing, because it's only going to help us save us. Okay, it's only going to help us save us. And he's telling us, you got to realistically, Ken, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. At the end of the day, you're saying that we must begin to start somewhere in
Yep.
order for us to move forward,
Yes, sir.
right? So
Sometimes it's the nastiest place you got to start.
yeah, so you just saying that we got to start someplace, betting on ourselves, and that's how you overcame your doubt. You started working, right? And
Yep.
you know, for the Bible thumpers out here, you know, the Bible said you got to work out your own salvation, right? So he had to start to work it out, and guess what happened? He's a major writer today. He's a motivational speaker. What is the state of our youth today, Ken? Because not getting off into a long drawn out tangent on that, but what is the state of our youth today?
They the way I see them, man, for real, they remind me of me when I was hiding all my pain. You know what I'm saying? Like the more pain I was in, the more I had to look a certain way. You know what I mean? The more I had to buy me some Gucci shoes to make me feel better. So a lot of the things that they doing right now is to hide their pain. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They're not being honest about their pain. But I understand why, because a lot of adults blame others for their pain. You understand what I'm saying? Like you
Mhm.
want something from somebody, you don't get it, and you didn't tell them that's what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of went in, I'm gonna be nice to this person for this, or I'm gonna be nice to this person, and hopefully they'll do this for me. Then when you don't get what you want, you blame the other person. When you kind of was going in there trying to use them behind their back, and you don't want to admit that. So you gotta say that they was a piece of whatever. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times, even as adults, man, we throw the blame on somebody else, and the kids are learning to do that
Wow.
based on what they see us doing as adults. They
Mhm.
see us feeling bad about ourselves. So what do they say? We're gonna go have a drink. we gonna go do this. The kids are only mimicking, man, the adults that they see.
Wow. So if that's the case, so the Bible says you reap what you sow, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to have a good outcome in our kids, we need to start planting that hope in our kids.
Yep.
That outcome, like your dad did you. Now it doesn't stop you that your kid might not go astray, but you had enough sense to come back because of what your father did for you as a kid.
Yeah.
So once again, we're talking about the greatness that's inside of you. Once again, you can bet on yourself. You can overcome if you allow yourself and forgive yourself. Plant that seed that you can overcome that doubt that you might have when you're starting your business. It ain't gonna always be everybody gonna have a wind behind you that's saying it's gonna be good. Sometimes people gonna doubt you. Some people gonna criticize you. Some people gonna falsely accuse you. Right?
And sometimes you gonna doubt you.
You gonna doubt yourself. So it doesn't matter. So the thing is that it doesn't matter what comes at you. It's a matter of, and I think I said that in one of the things, it's not what other people think of you. It's what you think of yourself.
Yeah. Straight up.
That's the key. It's not what other people think of you. It's what you think of yourself. There's a book that's out, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, a lot of people by Napoleon Hill, and people read that book. A lot of motivational people read that book, Think and Grow Rich. And and the Bible says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." So once again, you have to change the way you think. You have to change the way you act. You have to change the way we eat. We have to change the way we treat each other so that we can overcome and deal with that demon that's within us. And we all have it, but we just got to learn how to control it and steer it in the right direction.
And you got to be honest. You got to be honest with yourself, man, about who you really are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't call yourself 100%. I figure probably right now I might be around 67, 5. I ain't 100, my dude. You know what I'm saying? I got to understand that about myself. I got to understand, man, that sometimes I make bad decisions that didn't have nothing to do with nobody else. It was my character that needed some development.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be honest with yourself. It's like a dude going to the gym saying he got big legs, man, and they really smile. He tell you got big legs, man. How you gonna even get to them? So don't lie to yourself. That's the worst thing you can do.
Be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself about who you are. You make bad decisions, man. You treat people bad. You understand what I'm saying? So don't judge somebody else, man, when they treat you bad, real so heavy.
Wow.
They probably just been having a bad moment too. You want somebody to listen to your excuse and your reason, so listen to theirs.
Wow. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's get some likes on this. Let's get some thumbs up on this. Let's get the word out there. Share this with somebody else that is trying to start a business or your kid. It doesn't matter what it is. This is motivational for you. If you are struggling with yourself, use this as a tool to bet on yourself. Start somewhere. Yeah.
I got one more thing, man. I can't get out here without saying, we talked about that book, right? And you said, like, if people see what you're doing, they'll invest in you. I gotta give Stephen Allen. That's my guy. Allen's Auto Transport, man. We both came from the bottom. He came from the bottom in the trucking, and I'm coming from the bottom in this. But Steve believed in me enough, man, to pay the first editor for my book without even knowing it, man. He called me one day and was like, and this is why I say, man, God, I said, hey, Lord, you want me to do this book? Because I'm an arrogant dude sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I do stuff out of my own arrogance, and I know it. That's why I say be honest with yourself. Sometimes I'd make decisions based off my arrogance. So anything that got to do with that, I don't want to make it out for that. So I say, Lord, if you want me to do this book, man, you got to put 800 in my hand because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sure about it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he called me a couple days later was like, you need something, bro? I said, man, I'm cool, but if you want to give me something, I ain't tripping. He came and gave me that same money, man, and I needed to do that book.
Wow. Did y'all catch that? Another brother helped another brother promote his dream.
Hey, I'm telling you, with no problem. No problem, no nothing. But he understood that what if you want to do something for real and you don't want to quit, make it about serving somebody else, man, and really believe that in your heart. I can't quit on that. Even when I want to quit on me, I can't quit on the bigger picture, my dude.
Wow. So once again, you begin to bet on yourself. Somebody bet on you, and
Yeah.
now you can't quit. Ain't
Now
that so?
somebody, Steve Allen. Allen's
Steve
Auto
Allen.
Transport. If you need
Steve
a car,
Allen.
if you need a
Is he
car
here in the
towed, get
city?
at my gas.
Is he here in the city?
Yeah, he on Facebook too. Steven
Well, I'll
Allen.
tell you what we're gonna do.
Steve
We,
Allen.
we're gonna play it forward. We're gonna bring Steve Allen on the show, and we're gonna bring you back. So give me his number. We're gonna bring y'all two back, and we're gonna show how two brothers in the community bet on themselves and look at where you at today.
Yeah, and we do help each other. We help each other, man. You know what I'm saying? And when they started out, man, raggedy trucks too. Raggedy trucks and trailers, man. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? But now he got semis. He got F550s. He an inspiration. You know what I mean? That he doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So, but we always there to support each other.
Yep. So we're
You know
gonna
what
we're
I'm
gonna
saying?
bring Steve Allen on the show. We're gonna teach him how to bet on him. Well, he gonna teach us how to bet on ourselves. And guess what? We have people in our community that is doing it. So
Yeah.
when they say, well, there's no people that stick together in our community, I beg to differ. Because guess what? We are. I have people on our show every day, and they say, hey, I network with this other brother, and guess what? He gave me $800 to get my book going, and
Yeah.
and he has a thriving business also. So we want to continue to promote the businesses. Thank you, Ken, for coming on the show today. I
Man,
thank you for taking out some of your precious time and being an inspiration. And family, I hope that you have been inspired. So that doubt that you might be experiencing, you can turn to this show and say, hey, if them two dudes can do it, so can I. And if he can go to school, used to be a drug dealer, and change his life around and fall on his first attempt out the gate and doubt himself and be like, is this really what I was getting involved with? And then turn around and keep going and then have somebody support him and get behind him and bless him and encourage him. And then he keep going. And now he's encouraging other people. Who would have thought that a person that was sitting out there on the street selling drugs can be writing books and inspiring our youth to be great men and women of fulfilling their destiny? You know, so many times we talk about the people who didn't make it, but we looking at one that did. We looking at two that did. You know what? I think if you look in the mirror, I think that you can make it. All right. I think that if you begin to just start where you're at, I think that you can make it. Today is the day. Today is a new day. The Calvary is not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek and rose and the levee is given way. It's what you think of yourself. It's not what other people think of you. I'm here to tell you, and you can tell them that I told you. You can only go as far as what you think you can go, and you can only go down as low as you think you can go. It's time for you to bet on yourself. Start right where you're at. Don't make no more excuses. And Ken taught us today, it's okay to be afraid. That's just it's just an illusion. It's just an illusion,
man. Hey, one more, man. Stacy did my nonprofit. She done a lot. Her name is
see, that's just like
inspiration, man.
Okay, so that's just like brothers. When they come on the show, they want to come on. That's us taking control and betting on stuff. When you got people that's passionate and they bet on themselves, you know what they want to do? They want to promote other people. Not one time, and I want y'all to learn this. Not one time did I hear Ken say, hey, come and support me. He always was giving a servant attitude, saying, hey, let's come out and support other people. And he's giving those, Kim, hey, we got a lot of people that need 501c3s, Ken. So we're going to have you, her, and the guy who invested into your business. We're going to have all three of y'all on the show. Right?
Oh, you gonna give me a troll. Now I got Colin.
Yes.
Hey, ask her on this. I know she probably
No. She's on the hook now. She's on the hook, and I got it, and I'm gonna rewind it. So she got to help us out. So she got to bet on herself now.
Hey, and she went above and beyond, my guy, for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
once again, we're gonna have her on the show, and we're gonna talk to her too. So once again, Ken, thank you for coming out, man. Thank you for coming to my office a couple weeks ago. You inspired me to do better. Okay, I
When I
thought I was
when I
doing
told you I
good.
was scared to walk in the office with them dudes. Man, so I did when I said my nerve, my hands, my palms get to sweating when I walk into a meeting with the office with the suit and ties on. I get nervous, man. I can talk to a killer all day though, man. Won't shake one time, man. I go around that though, get a little bit nervous, man. But I'm working on it, bro. That ain't gonna stop me from going.
Okay, so once again, Ken, thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for giving your testimony. And Ken, anything, as you know, anything that I can do, you know, I got your back. You know, we know we're gonna do some things in the future. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to be able to be a blessing not only to our community. We want to be a blessing to yourself. Call Ken today if you got a child, or if you want to have some inspiration, or if you need an inspirational coach, if you are starting a business and you just need somebody to encourage you, to inspire you to keep going. Sometimes we don't have coaches and mentors to keep us going when we start our own business. It's important in our community that we can rely and fall on one another. I have fell on Ken. Ken didn't know. The day that he came to my office, I was doubting. I was like, you know what? I'm tired and I don't want to deal with it just no more. But guess what? When I saw Ken and Ken came over, he said, man, I'm inspired. I just said, man, I can't stop no more. I got to keep going.
Yeah,
So sometimes you never know who you might be impacting. You never know. So you got to start today to bet on yourself. The Calvary's not coming. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. That person, which is you, is needed in our community. Our community needs you. We don't. The community can use you. The community needs you. You don't need the community. The community needs you. If you don't need it, they need you. And if you don't, if you feel like your business is not available, come and help somebody else. Okay. So either way it go, you are desired and needed and loved in our community. Next week, we're going to have a trucking company on here, Katina Ruffin. She's a female trucking transportation company, Ken.
yeah,
And she is a female and she is doing it big time in the transportation, all male industry. She is kicking butt and taking names in that industry. Next week, you do not want to miss it. She's gonna light it up. So once again, make sure that you are taking out time to come and text the show, share this with somebody, come out and support. We on YouTube, we on Facebook, we on Instagram. If you have had any type of trouble or want to be encouraged, need a coach, need a business coach, need a mentor, Ken is your guy. Call him up. His number's scrolling down at the bottom. Ken, thank you once again. Go pick up the
that's
book.
right.
Call Ken and get the book. Go read it with your kids. Read it with your youth. It's a good read. It only takes you about an hour. Okay. It's a good read. You can call him and then you can have him come to your church, have him come to y'all speaking engagement. I know y'all women and y'all men, y'all have y'all little groups. Have Ken come and speak. Book him out. All right. Ken, thanks for coming. Thank you for coming on to the show. Our time is up. Once again, the Calvary is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. Hey, there's no excuse now. Ken has told y'all, even if you're afraid, you can still bet on yourself. Till next time, till next Wednesday, we'll have Katina Ruffin, which is Hot Shots, Hot Shot Movers. It's going to be something great. If you want to know about trucking industry, you want to know how you can get involved in the trucking industry. You want to know how a female started from ground zero, like what Ken was talking about. She bet on herself. She came from the bottom, and now she's here. That's a song. But hey, look, this you don't want to miss it. If you are looking to be inspired by a young lady or a person that started and didn't have any chances, her mind, she is a brilliant mind. Bet on yourself. Till next Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Bet on yourself. Calvary's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. Creek is rose. Levee is giving way. If somebody tell you that you can't do it, tell them that Cepeda Jackson told them that they lying to you. Okay? You can bet on yourself and you can do it. Till next time, keep betting on yourself.